So today we are doing something a little different.
Big shift, yeah.
Instead of analyzing hard data or, corporate strategy, we are stepping into a stack of source material that is intensely reflective.
I'd say so.
It's all about exploring one of the most powerful emotional forces on the planet, the feeling of Christmas.
Right. A listener sent us this deep exploration, the eternal spirit of Christmas. And our mission, really, is to treat it like a philosophical roadmap.
Not just a seasonal poem.
Exactly. We're here to extract the core concepts,
Yeah.
the philosophical nuggets, that explain why this time of year creates this global pause.
A pause that seems to shift our behavior.
A huge shift towards hope, connection, and this profound, almost radical kindness. This is about decoding the spirit, not just listing traditions.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're going to talk about the sheer, tangible feeling of the season.
But its ancient origin story.
Right. And how the idea of family gets stretched and expanded, and finally, what all this means for us in this, let's be honest, very noisy modern world.
And the source kicks it all off with a fundamental truth.
Which is that Christmas isn't just a day on the calendar.
It's a feeling, a sustained collective feeling. And that's the crucial starting point. If it were just a day, the impact would be gone in a flash.
But it's not.
No, it builds, it lingers, it actually changes our societal psychology for weeks. There are powerful mechanisms at work there.
Let's get into those mechanisms. The source uses this beautiful, almost tangible language to describe the feeling.
It does.
It's the soft glow of lights in the dark, the sound of laughter echoing through cold nights.
And that feeling of warmth, even when winter is at its coldest. These are emotional anchors, not just decorations.
And they're all tied to this idea of an annual pause.
That's the core of it. The source observes that when December arrives, the entire world seems to slow down just a little.
And that's not just people taking time off work.
No, not at all. It's an intentional, emotional deceleration that almost everyone participates in, consciously or not. Think about it. Our global speed dial drops from a 10 down to maybe a 7 for 3 weeks.
It's fascinating. It's like we collectively grant ourselves permission to just breathe, to look up. But why now?
Well, the darkness of winter is part of it, for sure. But the source really argues it's a societal agreement. For this brief window, hearts soften.
And the result?
Kindness becomes louder than noise. When we all sort of agree to prioritize connection over commerce or generosity over efficiency, the whole atmosphere just changes.
So that slowing down, that emotional pause, that's the engine.
That is the engine of the Christmas spirit. It's what lets us tap into a much deeper emotional need.
That's huge, because if you scrape away the consumerism, the rush to buy things, what are the needs being met by this pause?
Well, this is where we get past the surface level stuff and into the core meaning. If you ask 10 people what Christmas is about, you'll get 10 answers, right?
There's family, gifts, tradition, sure.
But the source, it just zeroes in on the one unifying element beneath it all.
Which is?
Well,
And it's a very specific kind of hope, which I found so insightful. It's not just general optimism.
exactly. It's an active, future-oriented hope. It's tied directly to reconciliation, to renewal,
It's the hope that tomorrow will be better than yesterday.
and maybe even more powerfully, the hope that broken relationships can heal. That's the psychological function of the season. It forces us to look past recent hurts and believe repair is possible.
The ultimate hope being that even in darkness, light still exists.
That love always finds a way. It's an annual guarantee.
And that idea of active hope, of healing, connects directly to the historical origin story the source brings up.
It does.
It reminds us that over 2,000 years ago, this massive world-changing event started in the most humble way possible.
And that humility is the key to why it's endured. The event wasn't in a palace, not surrounded by power or wealth.
No, it was in a humble manger.
And why does that detail still resonate so much? Because it says the most powerful force in the world, call it divine love, profound change, whatever, it can emerge from the most insignificant place.
That radical humility really sets the stage for the message.
The simple yet powerful core message that survived millennia: love one another, forgive freely, care deeply.
When you put it like that, it stops being a distant historical event. It becomes a continuous action plan.
That's it. That message is meant to live in every act of kindness we share, regardless of what you personally believe about the origin story itself.
It gives a kind of moral architecture to the season.
It really does. If the biggest events started quietly, maybe our most profound acts should be quiet and simple too. And where does that usually happen?
Within the family.
Exactly.
The great family convergence, people traveling thousands of miles just to reconnect.
Sometimes after years apart.
And the source brings it to life with those sensory details, the smell of home-cooked food.
And the sound of familiar voices.
There's nothing like it.
The sheer effort of getting everyone in one room, it reinforces how important that moment is. It provides that deep human comfort of knowing you belong.
But the source is really careful to broaden that definition of family.
Oh, absolutely. And it's vital. It says family isn't just biological, it's love.
That's so important for modern life, where so many of our strongest bonds are chosen, not inherited.
Right. Family is love means your community, your close friends, they provide that same shelter, that same sense of belonging. It shifts the focus from duty to just appreciation.
And to connect with that, you often have to tap into memory. The source pushes us to remember that childhood excitement.
That feeling that existed before the world taught you worry.
That is so hard to get back to as an adult, isn't it? We're so bogged down by cynicism, by stress. What is it about this season that lets us shed that adult armor, even for a bit?
It's permission. Permission to suspend reality. Christmas teaches us to feel like children again.
To believe in something more.
To believe in magic, to believe in goodness, to believe in miracles. It's a vital, yearly psychological reset button. We're allowed to hope without qualification, if only for a day.
But, and we have to pivot here, the source is very realistic. It doesn't ignore the shadows.
No, it can't.
It reminds us, and this is a necessary balance, that Christmas isn't joyful for everyone.
And this section is so important because for a lot of people, this season actually makes the pain more intense.
The pressure to be happy?
It's immense.
Yeah.
And it can make absence feel overwhelming. The source is brutally honest about the empty chairs, the silent pain, and the smiles that hide loneliness.
That internal conflict, what you're supposed to feel versus what you actually feel, that's one of the hardest parts of the holiday.
It is. And that's why the message of inclusion in the source is so powerful. It speaks directly to you, the listener, if you're struggling.
It offers reassurance.
It says, if you're feeling this, know that you are not forgotten. You are not alone. And most critically, your story is not over.
That shift from acknowledging pain to offering hope, it brings us right back to the idea of light.
It does. The source frames the season as a beacon. It says the Christmas light shines brightest for those who need it most.
Which is really an instruction for the rest of us. It tells us where to focus our attention outward.
It connects pain directly to action. If the light is needed most in the darkness, then our role is to be the light. And that provides the ultimate context for giving.
So, if being the light is the action, how does the source define the greatest gift?
It's clear. Not what's wrapped in paper, but what comes from the heart.
And the examples are so simple. A kind word, a helping hand, a moment of compassion.
And we should analyze why those are the greatest gifts. I mean, in a consumerist world, a financial gift is easy, relatively speaking.
Right.
The source argues that the hardest and most valuable currency we have is our emotional labor and our time. A kind word requires you to truly see someone. A helping hand requires a sacrifice of your schedule.
That's a critical perspective shift. It reframes what charity is. It's not just writing a check, it's being present.
And that presence has immediate, tangible consequences. The source emphasizes that you never know how much your kindness might mean to someone else.
And then it delivers that incredible line.
That sometimes you become someone's Christmas miracle. Your simple action, your momentary pause for compassion, can fundamentally change the trajectory of another person's day, or their week, or maybe even their life.
To think of yourself as a potential miracle, that's an enormous responsibility, but also an incredible opportunity.
It is.
And this all leads to the final takeaway, the message for the modern world, for our world of noise, anger, and division.
And into all that chaos, Christmas whispers something different.
It cuts through the static.
That whisper, according to the source, is a final, concise call to action that ties everything together.
Slow down, be kind, love more.
It brings us full circle, back to that intentional, philosophical pause we started with.
The goal isn't a perfect holiday, it's connection over perfection.
Fueled by the belief that even the smallest act of love can change a life forever. That's the wisdom that lasts.
It is.
So as the year closes, the final instruction from the source is deeply personal. It's a blueprint for emotional longevity.
Take a moment to breathe.
Be grateful for what you have. Forgive what hurt you. And carry that renewed hope into the new year.
That really is the essential insight from this dive. It's a recipe for peace, love, and warmth, designed to fortify us for the year ahead.
And that leads us to our concluding thought for you. The Force wishes for this spirit, this willingness to slow down, to connect, to believe in goodness, to stay with you, not just today, but always.
Which is a beautiful thought, but a difficult one to put into practice.
It is. So here's the question. If the essence of this spirit is active hope and the willingness to be someone's miracle, what specific structure or commitment would be necessary for you to consciously maintain that state, that open heart, throughout the other 11 months of the year?
How do we build mechanisms for the pause in July?
A mechanism for the pause in July. That's exactly it. And that is what we encourage you to reflect upon.